Ooh. Hey, Daryl. Good morning. Morning, Daryl. How you doing? And Joe was here for a second, and then he flashed off again. He froze up and was gone. So I'm sure he's trying to maybe get back on here. And how are you doing, Daryl? Everything okay? Everything all right with you, sir? Been kind of rainy on again, off again the last couple of days, and I think that's supposed to continue on today. So I don't know. We'll see how it, but they said it's supposed to clear up. Tonight it's supposed to go down to 40 degrees. Oof. I thought that was gone. I know that's not cold to a lot of people, but in my mind, it just isn't where we ought to be. I went down this morning first thing, and I got what did I get? I got two ships. I got a CSL ship, Canadian steamship, and an Algoma Equinox. Both downbound, one right after the other. It really worked out well for me because I just had about a 5 minute wait, 7 minutes in between. Here he comes again. Yeah, Daryl, where's the location that you got to go map, and what territory? I know that down in the south and southwest has been really stormy lately. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Well, I was here earlier.
I know, and then all of a
You,
sudden you were gone.
yeah, you walked in, you reached for something. I don't know what you touched, and all of a sudden it knocked me off. I just went off, and then I couldn't get back on. It said the site was not reachable. I had to reboot. So I don't know what happened.
Well, before you were gone, you were frozen.
Well, I was moving here. I don't know what was going on.
Because I was talking to you and there wasn't any lips moving, there wasn't any eyes batting or anything.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, because I saw you reach, and when you reached, all of a sudden, mine just killed. It was.
Daryl's got to go do 600 map 600 odd acres, weather permitting, down on the Texas coast. And I thought,
Yeah,
oh well,
Yeah, he might have some weather problems today.
yeah.
Yeah, because it missed us yesterday. It stayed right on the other side of the lake, right at the edge of the lake. But today was supposed to have the same stuff come through
Daryl said
later
that
today.
he flew the Avata in at the beach in high winds yesterday.
The Avata two, the Avata or Avata two, which one?
He didn't put the two behind the Avata. He just put Avata.
Well, the Avata 2 handles the winds pretty good, and the Avata used to. I remember that. It drifted a little bit, but you didn't get a lot of drift. I think the only thing I don't like about the Avata 2, and I'm glad Lance is here, is, is the fact that if you're going slow, low over water, it drifts a little. And I think it's because of those sensors,
Ah,
those back sensors. I think it makes it drift a little bit because you can't stay perfectly steady with it. It won't let you do it. Yeah, Johnny came on. He was going to come on last night, right after Bill, and talk about the update because he's in my corner. He don't like it. He doesn't like it doesn't give him what he needs. You know, it does have some features on it, but it's like the biggest part of the update was, and we were told right in the beginning by all of these people that's supposed to know all of everything, that there's going to be an update, and the goggles 3, the brand new goggles, will be compatible with the Avata original.
I'm listening. Be right back.
Yeah. Yeah, throw it on my other computer and check it out. I want to see it. Put it over here. Oh, oh, that's cool. That's close to the water. I like that. Yeah, I tell you what, some of them waves were getting pretty close.
I'm not
Yeah,
used to having Mia. As she gets older, she starts to become more of a child every day.
yeah. I got 3 children there.
Yeah, and I'm not used to that. I never had any kids in my entire life, you know. But 'tis what it is, right?
Yep.
I
So
don't know
so
what I'd do
basically,
without them.
Johnny. So basically, Johnny said the same thing. We heard that the new goggles, the 3s, were going to be backwards compatible with the regular Avata, and it makes sense because it's got an '04 unit in it, and the other ones have an '03 unit in it, and they could backtrack it. That's what it sounded like. So we said, okay. So Johnny sold his Integra goggles and his Avata, and he kept one with a couple of batteries, but he doesn't have anything to fly it with
Ah,
because they said everything's going to go back. The stuff yesterday came out. You could fly with the goggles 2, which is the ones that people were flying with before the Integras, with the Integras, the Motion 2, and the RC2. But you can't use the RC2 or the Motion 2 with the goggles 3. So if you have the goggles 3, you can't use that with the older stuff, and goggles 3 doesn't go back to the Avata 2, the regular Avata. So they're leaving that out in the open. So I made a comment on one of the major YouTubers comment yesterday saying that I thought it was a useless update for the people that bought the Avata 2, that expected that then because of the rumors of going back and got rid of the other stuff basically. And he came back and said, yeah, there's guys like you that are always bitching and complaining and effing this and and he said, go find you a local company that has better drones like that. You don't know business 101. So I went back and I said, well, business 101 to me is if you can bring it from 03 to up to 04, and you got all these FPV, true FPV builders that have the what you call it, the 03 units in their built drones that they built. Wouldn't it be better to give them a chance at a $500 goggle instead of buying a $300 goggle because it's a better goggle? That's business 101. That's an add-on sale,
Yep.
you know. So
Did you get a response back?
he won't respond back. He's a DJI fanboy, and he didn't
Well,
pay for these drones.
what you should have put in there was, by the way, where did you get your electronic engineering degree from?
It's all
And he
right because
doesn't
that's the
have
way he
it.
is.
He's just,
Whenever somebody confronts him with something like that, he starts F-bombing things and everything else. You know?
well,
So it's
Dobo was
like,
a clown anyway, you know?
I didn't say it was Dobo.
That's who it was.
Good guess. Good guess.
Because he's an arrogant son of a bitch anyway. I
I
know he's got,
half the time I don't
he's got
even
a lot
watch
of
his
people
stuff.
that watch him, but
Yeah, half of the time I don't even watch his stuff, you know?
sooner or later, people are going to figure it out that he doesn't know everything he's saying. It's all about dollars and cents to him.
Yep. Well, I tell you, it's like you walk through a checkout line and you got all the candy right there in the front. That's an add-on buy. That's all it is. They want you to come in and buy your steak, but buy you a couple of candy bars too.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love DJI products, but I like you, the engineering side, the business side is told the engineering side, don't make it compatible across products because we could sell more.
Uh-huh. Well, what I've heard, Matt, is that
Hey, there's
the
Matt.
one and only Matt? Matty?
That's Matt.
That is-
You gotta be careful because he and Dobo are tight.
Oh, wow. What's up, Matt?
Hello, Matt. Can you hear
He
us?
must have got that.
He's
I don't
shaking
think
his
he could
head.
hear us yet. I think he got that equipment from yeah, there you go. You got that equipment from Justin.
What you doing? What you doing?
My son,
Go potty. Go potty. Go potty.
hello, Matt.
Here we go.
Hey,
That's
Matt.
better.
That's better.
I thought
There's a
you
little
had
thing-
Justin's equipment.
There's a little thing that says use mobile data, and I didn't press it. And it takes me in there, but I can't hear anything.
Wow.
Well, we got you now, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
You're squared
that's all right. You
away
might-
now.
Well, this Bluetooth's pretty pooey, so if you don't understand what I'm saying, just tell me. It's shocking.
The
Brand new truck, and the Bluetooth is shit.
the thing of it is that I don't know if you know it or not, but there was an update on the Avata 2, and it's really pissed Joe off, you know? Because
No, what happened?
DJI
Well,
didn't go back compatible.
Ah,
Yeah, the original the rumor was out that within a couple of months they were going to let you go back with the new equipment, the OC3 stuff. I mean, the motion controller 3 and the goggles 3 to be able to fly it with the original Avata. So a lot of people like Johnny sold a whole setup of all of his, kept one Avata drone and a couple of batteries so that eventually he could use that one too.
Thank you.
And when they
Yeah.
came out with the updates yesterday, the goggles 2, the Integra goggles, the motion controller 2, and the RC2, the FPV controller, are compatible now with the Avata 2. but you have to use that equipment. You can't use the Goggles 3 with any of it. So the Goggles 3 won't work or go back. And so now if you don't have the original 2 stuff, you can't go back and forth. So it's just, and it doesn't make sense because the other stuff's OC3 and the Avata 2 is OC4, but yet the OC3 stuff's going to work with the OC4 stuff, but you can't take the OC4 stuff and backdate it to the 3. And it's a better goggle. People that have the built units, you know, the FPV guys that have the O3 units and all their drones would probably buy those goggles instead.
Well, this is what shits me about the DJI stuff and all that sort of crap is, you know, I fly FPV as well, you know that, and I've got 6 different quads all hooked up to the same goggles and controller. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything just works together, and you get another one, it'll do the same thing again. You know?
Yeah.
Until you update
Lance.
your receivers and stuff. Yeah. And it just shits me that it's all a money grabbing thing. Apple's like it, DJI's like it, all the big companies, and they've got to buy more stuff to get this shit. You know.
Okay.
Good morning, Lance.
Just shit.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Joe. And I'm
Lance
not
said
sure
he's
who
going
was
to buy
talking.
another Avata too.
Matt's on with us. From
Oh,
Oh, is that
Western
Matt? Hi,
area.
Matt.
Hey, Lance, how are you?
Good. How are you, Matt?
Not bad,
I-
mate. Not bad.
They're selling the Avata 2 separate now. I think I may get 5 or 6 more.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna.
They won't even take mine back. It's such a POS.
The funny thing, Matt, you probably aren't in on it, but Lance and Joe have had this go back and forth about Joe loves his Avata 2 and Lance says it's a piece of shit. And
That's Lance's favorite drone in the world. You know that.
Yeah. I've stuck away from getting anything else DJI at this stage. I just enjoy the FPV with what I've got at the moment because they just tear it up, especially the little 3S. You know, it's crazy speeds, man, and I just love it. But the footage you get from it's shit because it's all from the goggles, you know, so you get all the crap on it. The cameras on themselves aren't that good, and I haven't got into getting any sort of decent footage FPV wise to add into any videos that I'm doing, which will be a good thing in the future, which I want to do. But I'm not sure whether I'll do it with a DJI system or not. I'll just get a system that a digital system on a regular FPV, I think.
so what time is it over there, Matt?
20 past 11 p.m.
11 p.m. Okay. So
20
you're working
past
the night
11.
shift?
So I'm on my last run now. I'm just heading back to the depot. Then I'll be off by midnight. So
Lance is over on the West
end of
Coast.
June. I'll lose my job.
June, you lose
June?
your job?
Yeah, at the end of June, my job's gone. Yeah. So I'll have to look at something else, which is a shame because it's the best bloody job I've had for a long time. It's beautiful. Love it.
That sucks.
So easy.
What is the reason for that? They're just getting rid of certain people, or?
Yeah, they're getting rid of the contract. Someone else has taken over the contract. So the company I'm working for is no longer got the contract. So someone else has got it.
What you got to do is find out who got the contract and hire on with them.
Yeah, I know who's got it. But I really don't want to work for that company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're a bit shit. There's plenty of jobs out there, man. I'm renovating my bathroom at the moment, starting probably next week at some point. So I need a bit of time off anyway to sort that shit out. That's not bloody cheap, is it? Renault bathroom.
No,
God damn.
I thought you said you were gonna rent out your bathroom.
Well,
That'll work.
I could do that. A few of the OnlyFans girls come up. Anyway, there's another story, I guess. Yeah. I could rent that out. Yeah, yeah, but bloody everyone you ring, 20 grand straight away. 20 grand, 20 grand, 20 grand. Fuck.
just to rehab your bathroom, they want $20,000.
Yeah, well, it needs it, man. It's been there since '88, and just before Dennis got here 18 months ago, the bathroom just about exploded. I had tiles falling off all the walls and bloody shit everywhere just before he got here. So, so I'm there just madly just sticking shit back on again. So it really needed an upgrade.
Here comes David Birdman.
Birdman. Or maybe not.
So Lance, are you buying that gimbal thing?
You know, that gimbal thing might get in the way of if I want to buy the camera attachment. I think it's using the same screws. So I don't
Might
know.
be.
You know, I know there's another camera attachment that sits further back.
Right.
So if I get that one, then I would get the gimbal guard. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've got the one that comes in that they've got a red one and a black one that they show for about $9.
Okay.
I think the black one comes in like next week.
Okay.
And that one looks like it'll sit back a little further.
The gimbal guard the gimbal guard?
Yeah.
Okay, let me know if it uses those front screws or not. I think if it doesn't, I may order that one.
It uses those front screws though.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only place they could attach is the front screws. But
Yeah.
I thought you were getting that one from Start RC because it also gave you a book on how to fly the Avata too.
And I need all the help I can get. You know, the two things I really don't like about the Avata 2 is the motion. I love the motion. I love how the motion controller works. I love how it flies, but I don't like it that it's so slippery and is so small. That's one thing. And the next is the OcuSync 4. I don't know that it's better than the OcuSync 3. I'm flying in the exact same places as I fly my Avata OG, and I'm getting less penetration.
Right. See, my wife used to like the fact that it was small and slippery, and she got a lot of penetration. She used to like that.
How can it be small and have plenty of penetration? I can't work out how that will work.
Hey, it depends on how close you can get.
Yeah, right. Well, I tell you now, I get better signal from my Mavic 2 Pro in the city than what I do out of my Mavic 3.
Okay.
Which is weird, but I'm kind of guessing it might have more to do with the bloody controller than anything, because I've just got the normal RC, and I want to get the RC Pro because the RC is really clunky, and slow. When I want to change my bloody f-stop and all that sort of stuff, I can flick it 3 or 4 times even before it looks like moving. You know, it's just, and when you're up in the air, you just want to click all this shit going and make sure it just and get your shot and get out of there. You know, and
sure,
the amount of time I just got to, I'm going to wait for this bloody app on this thing. It's too slow. The processor in that thing sucks. Absolute crap.
I wish I could afford the RC Pro. I have the RC. I have the small one, and I make do with it. I would love to know what the Air 3 and the Mini 4 folks think about the penetration for the OcuSync 4, or is it just the Avata 2 that doesn't do well.
It's just the Avata too, because Johnny flew the Air 3 the other day, and we
Yeah.
did a range test over water, and it never lost a bar, and it was a whole bunch of feet out.
Okay.
I mean,
Mate,
it was the furthest he's ever flown it.
Okay.
if you lose signal over water, there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah. What I want to know is go around a building, you know,
no,
what happens when
No,
he goes
but-
around a building?
but I've had a lot of issues with the Avata 2 around the Bogfalaya River when I'm down around trees.
Yeah.
When I get around turns, I'll start getting a little breakup. And
Okay.
the Avata 2's the regular Avata's never done that. You know,
Okay,
I'm
hang on,
losing
hang on.
the signal in a couple places.
Oh, okay. Right, that's the goggles. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
It's got to be the fact that it's the goggles, not the controller, that's sending the signals to the drone. And when I flew the day before yesterday, I went back to that same area where I did lose complete signal, and I had to go higher to try to get my control back. When I almost wound up in a tree, and same place, around the same place, I started losing signal again. I just kept going. I said, let me go a little further and see if I lose it completely. Because it was clear, I knew I could go straight up. And all of a sudden, I got my signal back, then I lost it again. And I was able to turn around and did some video, and I lost it again. So then I just said, just come back. It's not going to let me go any further.
Yeah, that sucks. Bloody hell. Hey, I might be doing a live show this weekend.
There you go.
Might be
Yeah.
doing what?
The normal live show.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just going to sort something out, make sure everything's right for Saturday, and then I'll go on the normal time, you know, because Justin doesn't do it anymore because he's scared. And
Yeah, he does that
I don't think
gaming crap.
yeah. I generally don't pronounce the ing on the end. It's just gay.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's him and Tim. You know, what do you expect?
Oh, Timbo Jack. He wants to send me his 20, I think it's a 2060, I think he's got video card. Which will be an upgrade from my 1080. Might run DaVinci a bit better.
How long you been driving today, Matt?
11.5 hours at the moment. Which is long enough.
Yeah, that's long enough.
Well, now, when you used to do over the road stuff, did you used to stop every 8 hours or no?
No, look, in the States and stuff, you don't have to get out of your truck for 10 hours if you don't want to. So some days I could do that, and other days I'll be there 2 hours and I'll be wanting to have a snooze, and I'll just pull over for half hour or whatever. So, you know, some days I can drive 10 hours without stopping, and other days I just can't do it, you know, it all depends on how you feel. But I do like that option over there where you can just keep going if you want to. And that's a good option too, because if you're not stupid about it, you can get off the road quicker. You know what I mean? It doesn't increase your day by having to pull over and have half hour sleep. Now you're half hour behind where you would have been. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Way to go, man.
Over there in Australia, are they a little more strict on drivers? And
Yeah. When I do a basic fatigue management, which I've got as a course you do anyway, you can drive for 6 hours without pulling over, but after 6 hours you must pull over. And within any, by the 11th hour, you've got to show an hour's rest. So if you do a 12-hour shift, you can only drive for 11 of them. That makes sense.
Yeah, I got a buddy, it's a truck driver, cross country guy, and they're on a computer where it gets to a certain point and that truck won't start. He'll shut it down. So when they get to within about 30 minutes of that shutdown time, he's got to find a place to pull over.
Yeah. They got the electronic logbooks in England, actually. They run them over there. We don't run them here. If we have to run a logbook, then it's just a paper logbook. You fill in the lines and stop, put your brakes in where it is, your kilometres and all that sort of stuff.
When you say logbook, you mean a tachograph?
No, it's a logbook. It's an actual book.
Are you on about how long you've been driving over it?
Yeah, but that's in the dash. That's electronic, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got two. You've got one that monitors how long the truck's been driving and so on, and then you've got a driver one.
Yeah, no. So we haven't got that.
Yeah.
We haven't got that.
Yeah, you can manually override it, but they frown upon it.
Yeah, no. So we haven't got them. I know what a tachograph is because I used to have one when I was a locomotive driver. We got them in the locomotive, tacho.
Yeah, the old ones used to be a spinny wheel, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely it was, yeah.
Yeah, now it's just like a credit card that you slot into two machines, one for your truck, one for you.
Yeah. No, we got the old logbook, mate. Draw the line across, put it up to where the brake is, put it across for staff hour, bring it back down to your work hours. Yeah, so it's all still manual here, mate. No, because we kicked up a fucking hell of a stink about having electronic logbooks here because it was a tachograph, because they're a pain in the ass. You can't get away with jack shit. I hate them.
That is a problem.
So because that's right, and that's why when we get pulled over and everything, we call it being creative with the logbook to make it legal.
Lance flying by the river today.
yeah.
Nice.
Shooting a 16-second hyperlapse waypoint. We'll see how it turns out. Got a train going by, which is good.
Yeah.
And of course,
nice.
the freeway. You guys can probably hear the train. Don't tell Captain Ray, but I'm at my secret spot number 1. Right here. The Fish Peddler in Tacoma, Washington. If anyone wants to Google it, you know exactly where I'm standing right now. Little windy, not bad, but and it's gonna be a nice day.
Now,
I got
Lance,
one of
are you close to your school there?
I am. I'm probably maybe 10 minutes. So if you look this way, Paul, that way that I've got the camera facing,
Yep.
that's where that really nice high school is, just about 2 miles away up on the hill. So it's up there.
Okay.
And then I am further, I'm about 5 minutes from that high school, just to the west. I'm really close to what they call the Narrows Bridge. You know, you guys probably heard of Galloping Gertie and when it collapsed in the 40s.
Yeah.
I'm real close to
Yep.
that bridge is my school. I'm like 2 minutes from that bridge. And that bridge goes over to Gig Harbor, Washington. And it connects Tacoma and Gig Harbor. And now it's a toll bridge. And they just increased the toll to $6 to cross the bridge. When you go, you know, of course, it's one way. And then when you come back, it's free or vice versa, depending on which way you're going. But it's
Matt,
It's
did
a
you
nice-
did you used to drive out in Seattle area?
I do drive up into the Seattle area, but not for work ever. I
Well,
always
was-
head south.
What I was doing, and Lance, I was asking Matt, I don't know if you can see that Matt's here.
Yes.
Matt drives truck and he's been in the United States driving before, but he lives in Australia and he drives there.
Gotcha. And he's driving at midnight.
I-
He's driving a truck at midnight.
Yep.
Yeah,
Way to go, man.
yeah. We
I
got
always wondered-
we got these things over here called headlights, which we've got on, and makes it easier.
And you drive a semi?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
You know, I always wondered why those semi trucks were out at midnight. You know, you don't see a lot of them out that late.
Oh yeah, we got a shitload. A lot of the trucks in the US, I do notice they park up before the sun goes down. A lot of them do. The truck parks. If you get into a Flying J's late or something like that, you're pushing to get a park. You know, whereas in Australia, a lot of the shit is moving at night time. We got a lot of trucks on the road at night.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that frees up the congestion in the daytime, right?
Oh man, yeah. Driving during the day can be a pain in the butt, especially around the cities, you know.
Now, how big a truck are you driving now? Is it 40 foot or?
It's 48 trailer.
48.
Yeah, 48 foot. Yeah, triaxle and a bogey drive day cab, which is there's no bonnet on the vehicle. It's a European truck. So you're sitting on the motor.
So it's a cab over type of situation, right?
Cab over, that's the one. Yeah, they're all right. These are, I wonder if I can turn my camera around. Turn the camera around. Where are we? There we go. I don't know if you can see them.
Oh yeah.
That's the B doubles.
Yeah.
So you got two trailers.
So they actually drive that around with two like 50-foot trailers.
Yeah, there's a 48 on and a 20 foot. So that's just a single trailer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just about
It's
done
cold,
for the
eh?
day. You're back at the yard, huh?
I sure am. Where are we? Camera, here we go. Yes, mate. Yeah, back in the yard.
Well, I don't know where your protege Justin is, but he's been absent a lot lately because he's out there playing them fairy games.
Justin
Yeah.
Well,
sucks.
see, this is the thing. Yeah, Yeah, he's forgetting where he come from, mate. This is the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
What did I say? I said that would happen, didn't I?
yes, you did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he said he weren't going to do many daytime streams because he's getting ready for the kids and the holidays and stuff.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, the holiday's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, they're half day tomorrow for him, and
What kind of holidays tomorrow for you guys?
not for us.
Me-
but
Meaning
for
his,
Justin, it's school
getting out of
holidays.
school tomorrow.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Are they done for the year
Oh.
tomorrow?
Yeah, Justin's kids are.
So you guys are off in the winter time.
No, Justin's in the US.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said, Matt, your kids were off.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Matt,
I'm in the UK, and it's summertime for us as well. But they don't
Yes.
break. Our kids don't go leave until July the 18th to the 21st, and then they go back on the 3rd of September.
So they like just almost 2 months, but a month and 3/4
weeks.
off, right?
Yeah, 6 to 6.5 weeks. It is.
Going. Back. Yeah. In there. Sorry, if that beeping got you or not.
Laura, what have you sprayed?
Yeah.
Like fucking chemical warfare in here. Laura,
Laura.
you got fucking birds and she's spraying chemicals.
There's the 21st Avenue Bridge right there.
Okay.
And you see the Tacoma Dome right behind it.
Right.
And then the little weird building that's kind of off to the, I'm guessing that's right. It's a car museum. That's the LeMay Car Museum right there. That's where we're going to hold our senior prom, is inside that building.
Okay.
And I'll give you the lay of the land here. And then over to the right behind the fish peddler are 2 apartment buildings. You see one that's kind of gray, and then way down there you see the kind of the Mexican kind of, red and yellows. That's kind of a
Yeah, way down there.
nice looking building way down there. And then right here where you see the crane, there used to be a boat that was leaking like diesel fuel into this bay or into this canal. And they finally got rid of it. They finally towed it out of here, and they're going to pull it apart somewhere up in Seattle, I think. But there was a big hubbub about it. And if you look way down there by the bridge, you see kind of, it looks like a ferry right next to the bridge. It's just, but real short. That is that's a houseboat that they were trying to sell. I don't know if they sold it or not, but they had it up for sale a couple of years ago for $850,000. Really nice inside. And it's a floating ferry, but tiny, it's, shaped like a ferry, but it's not really a ferry. And then I used to fly in that marina right there, but they've closed the gates and you can't park in there anymore. So I can't get to that parking lot any longer. And then, of course, the Taylor, the Murray Morgan Bridge you're looking at. Joe, Alex, familiar to you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've flown one of those before. And they call it the 11th Avenue Bridge. They call it the Taylor Bridge. They call it the Morgan Murray Bridge or Murray Morgan, one or the other. I forget which. But yeah.
Oh, my hyperlapse is about to end. I'm gonna set you guys down here.
How many photos was it? 500 or something?
Say that again.
Was that about 500 photos?
It was 400. 400 photos.
Yeah.
16 seconds. 1/5 of a second. 1/5 of a second shutter. F8. ISO 100. So there should be.
Right, and you got them 2 seconds apart?
Say that again.
Were they 2 seconds apart, those photos?
1/5 of a second.
No, that's your shutter speed.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so every photo was taken every 2 seconds, though, was it?
Yes. Every 2 seconds. Yes. Correct.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Beautiful. I had to stop my hyperlapse the other day because the birds were going after me drone, so I had to cancel it and come home.
Oh, you should have kept it up there. Would have made a good video.
Yeah, yeah. Unreal. Well, I better roll, boys. I got to get to this office and get your paperwork all sorted. And
Okay, Matt. Hey, thanks for
Yeah.
popping in.
Yeah, catch you later.
Oh, wow.
mate.
Nice seeing you, Matt.
We'll look forward to you going live Saturday your time, right?
yeah, Friday night, your time.
Okay.
Might do a map bump or two. You never know.
Okay, Matt. Looks good.
All right, take care, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Later,
forget
Matt.
your first one's got to be called The Small Channel Returns.
Oh, right. Right, is Laura going live, is she?
No, but you've got to have a dig at her.
Tiny channel return.
Yeah.
Return to the bump.
All right. Return of the bump, brother.
There
Or
you
you've
go.
got to remix that song. Oh, the return of the Mac. Is that a return of the Mac?
Actually, I might actually remix Elton John. So hold me close to Tiny Channel. Do 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 do. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah,
Take
well,
catch you
care.
later.
All right. Have a good day, you lot.
You
You
have
too.
a good
Take care.
evening.
Later.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
So is he really returning or is he just winding Justin up?
No, he's going to do a live stream
Yeah, he said he is.
because Justin isn't doing his.
Well, Justin's still going live, but he's gaming.
Yeah, he's game. It's not a talk channel like Matt does,
Yep.
which is what Justin said he was going to do, was going to continue on with the format
With the talk.
Matt had. And he
Yeah.
didn't. So
It's showing the US Mint and them packaging $100 bills. I wish they'd just drop a couple of them here. A couple of those packages, you know? My son got
Mudball says that Matt is going to steal Justin's time slot. No, it was Matt's time slot.
He's taking his time slot back.
Repossession.
Yeah. I don't blame him either. So Paul, what I was telling you is my son got in last night around 1:30 and kept me up till about 3:15, telling me about his well, it's funny, I woke up and my chest was hurting, but it was reflux. I definitely was reflux last night. And so sitting there, when he came out the bathroom, he looked over at me and says, "I tell you what," he said, "as soon as I can put an application into the U.S. Marshals, I'm going to do it." He said, "So I won't have to deal with what I dealt with tonight." I said, "What'd you deal with?" He said, "I had a drunk chick. She 5 o'clock in the afternoon. she looked like she had a bumper car. The way her car looked, all the sides were bashed in, the airbag was deployed, everything, and she was nowhere to be found. And they find and he went over to one of the bars right there, and one of the guys came out and he said, "Do you know whose car this is?" And he knows the guy, and the guy says, "Yeah, it's a friend of his." He said, "Well, where is she?" And he told him, giving him the runaround, and he said, "Dude, I'm just telling you right now. Tell me where she's at, or I'm gonna bring you in for obstruction." Like that, because he didn't want to play with it. He was tired. He didn't like what he saw. And he gets the woman out there. She's like 31 years old. And there's open container in there, the whole works. And he said, I could smell it, how bad she was. And he wound up detaining her, asked her if she'd take a field sobriety test. She refused. Then he took her to the police station and wrote up all the stuff and told her, we're going to do a breathalyzer. She refused. So then he took her to the hospital because now she's going to jail. So they could do blood work now at the hospital. Now it's mandatory. So they did all of that. And this is at 5:30 in the afternoon. He didn't finish with her at the jail till almost 11 last night. That's crazy.
Wow.
And he said, I'm gonna have to show you the body cam as soon as I can get it. He was in there and she was mouthing off to him in the place, saying, my dad's gonna find out about this and kick your tail and all of this. And he said, you need to shut up. You just need to be quiet. And he got all in her face. And he said she was crying, and one of the doctors walked in, and it was a separate room. One of the doctors walked in and said, could you kind of like keep it down a little bit? And he turned around to the doctor and he said, how about you just go do your job and let me do mine?
Why
Like that?
Why are you so beefy?
The doctor just backed up and walked out.
So we should.
He said, God darn it. That Laura's up. I can see it. Shut up, Joe.
Oh, this bamboo support backing thing's pissing me off.
And then they had another one. They got a call of a welfare check. This was like right before that call. And they said they hadn't seen the guy in a couple of days. And they hadn't seen the female in a couple of days, and she has a crack problem. So they went to the house, and as they get to the house, they started smelling, what the smell of death is. They started getting that smell, and the windows were full of flies.
Oh.
And he just said, oh, come on. He said, so they got the landlord to come out and give him the key. Went inside, the house was perfect. They had flies in the house, couldn't figure out what it was. There was a dead dog underneath the porch. so that got him out of that one. So they said that was a blessing that they didn't have to deal with a dead body. And then they got another call to another welfare check, walked in the house and looked over, and it was a dead body. It was a guy. They said the guy had been dead. It looked like he fell off his bed and was laying there, and he was like in a tripod position where rigor mortis had set in. It could have been a couple of days. And Justin said he looked over and he said he knew when he smelled it what it was. And he said, I've dealt with that with the decomposed bodies and everything. It was like 93 degrees inside the house. And he said, he walked over, looked, and he said when he flashed into the guy's face, he said he just called and he said, we don't need fire. He said, cancel fire department, call the coroner and all of this. And his sergeant said, why are you doing that? He said, look at his face. And they looked at his face. They said that he had no face. It was all decomposed already, where it was being eaten by the maggots and everything.
Oh.
He said it was nasty.
So what's for breakfast?
Yeah, I know.
No,
I said, well, thank you for telling me this at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I think I've just put my meals off for the rest of the day.
There you go. It's diet food.
Hey, this channel's doing well for my diet. But yesterday it was bloody ginger ale. Today it's maggots. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what I get to listen to when he comes home. Brings back EMS memories.
What
I used
did
to
you
run
do in the
across
Marines, Joe?
I started out in the Marine Corps band. So then I wound up in supply and purchasing and contracting. And it was a little 2.5 year stint where I was hand-to-hand combat instructor.
So how'd you get into EMT?
Accidental.
And that was
I-
after you got out?
Yeah, it was after I got out. I was at home sitting there, and I was trying to get the photography started, and the photography was starting to work. And then they came out and said, "Oh, we're in a recession," and all of a sudden the photography just died. And it was like I was going from booking 2 to 3 weddings a week to about one every other month. It was just everything slowed. Nobody wanted to spend any money, and I had some on the book, so I was doing good. And I started working for another photography company just to get some pictures on the side, just to make money on the side, shooting schools. And that's what got me into the schools. And my cousin was working EMS. He started working EMS. And I was listening to all the stories. I said, "Oh, that sounds cool." And he says, we need them bad. We have a course coming up that's it's normally 6 months. It was a 6-week course. They were accelerating in 6 weeks for 6 weeks to get EMTs on the road because it was so short. So I went to it, and it didn't cost me anything because I was prior military. I got in for free. Passed the course, went right to work EMS, and I did it for about 3 years, 3.5 years. And I would have stayed there, but it was just there was too many things going on with EMS that were just there was some changes. And right before Nick was born, that's my lieutenant, Marine Corps lieutenant. Within a week's time, I walked into to drop off a patient into a drug deal with Uzis all over the table. We went up to a scene to pick up a guy in a housing project, and we got chased down the stairs being shot at. You know. And
Yeah.
then one night, in the middle of the night, we're pulling up by Charity Hospital behind a car. Another car pulls up next to that car, and they get out and start having a war zone right there in front of us. And a bullet came in right behind me, hit the oxygen tank, and came right back out. Didn't hit me, but it went over my shoulder and back over my shoulder. And it was like, I just sat there that night, and Hank Johnson, our supervisor, when we called it in, I called it in like ice. You know, it was like, I just called it in. And Hank comes back a couple minutes later and he goes, 120, 722. Are you okay? And I went, 10-4, I'm done. Like that, I'm done. He came out and said, what was that done? I'm done mean? I said, I'm done. 2 weeks. I'm done. I said, because we're out here getting shot at now and we can't get protected. You know, it was like, and it was just at that point, I had another kid coming along any day. And I didn't want to be the guy that wound up having kids grow up without me, you know? And they
Wow.
wouldn't let us carry our weapons with us. You know, we couldn't carry a gun on the unit. So it was like,
Yeah, that's kind of counterproductive. You're trying to save people, not kill them.
oh yeah. But I wanted to work for Gretna PD, Gretna Police Department. It's right across the river from where I was working. They wanted me to come work for them, and I would actually been commissioned a police officer and work EMS. And our units had blue lights on them instead of red lights on them. So we were actually a police unit, but we did the EMS side. And we were fully armed, the whole works. And my ex told me, I don't like that idea. I said, well, I'm out there right now being shot at, and I can't do anything to protect myself except just sit there. So if I'd have known a couple of years later she wanted a divorce, I probably would have told her, I'm going to do it, you know.
Yeah.
But it was it was the time because we weren't making any kind of money. I started making more money when I started working. I went right into, that's when I went to,
Pogo chips and milkshake for you, yeah?
back into retail. I hadn't worked retail in years. And I went into a manager's position at a baby store
I need to keep it.
and got trained on all the baby products and became his manager. And that propelled me into a better position for a long time. Because I was a Burlington Co-Factory Baby Depot manager, assistant store manager. And then I went to USA Child Space, USA Baby Child Space, and I became the store manager at that place. And I made more money at USA Baby than I had made at my previous 3 jobs combined.
I will.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, and I just always kept the photography on the side, always did. And then when they shut down, I said, well, everything's calming down. I'm gonna try to get the photography started. And he was liquidating the store, so we had an agreement. Because he took care of me. And he had storage units with all the merchandise. And he said, we're gonna liquidate it somehow. I said, I could put them on eBay. I could do it. So I started running eBay sites with all of this merchandise that we could ship with UPS. And we were selling, I think he said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll split it right down the middle. I said, no, it's not fair. I said, because it's your product. Yeah, I said, let's do this. I said, you pay me 40%, you get 60%, but you pay all the fees. That way he still made more than I did. And he said, okay, we'll do it that way. And I was making, almost $2,000 a month on the 40%.
Wow.
And I did that for almost a year, sitting out the house. I had all my stuff set up to where at 7 o'clock at night, that's when everything cleared. Started clearing, all the things shut down, all the different auctions and all the different buy it nows. It was all auctions then. It was about 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. I might have 10 different things closing every night. And then at 9 o'clock, I just print off labels. UPS pulled up the next day and picked them up. I'd have them either in the apartment or I had to go get them right down the street. And then every 2 weeks, I just walked up to his house and handed him cash. He loved that. He said, shoot, you're selling more than we were selling when we were at the store. I said, because I've dropped the prices and you're still making profits. So we were doing pretty good. And then Katrina hit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, when Katrina hit, you want to hear the funny part? This storage unit that he had his stuff at, there were 250 storage units there. He had 4. There were 4 storage units damaged in the whole thing. His 4. Something hit his storage unit like a little tornado. All of his storage units were completely destroyed. Baby products, we're driving down the street going to it. There were baby products a half a mile away on the road. It was like, he said, I can't believe this. So we were out of the business real quick. So his insurance covered everything else. And then he said, what are you going to do? I said, we'll figure it out. I went up with the kids, and Katrina, within a week after Katrina, because I had the kids with me and FEMA and all the different things, I had like $20,000 in the bank from FEMA and everybody else. So then I said, okay, now I got to get the photography started again. And I got that going real big because a lot of the photographers in New Orleans left New Orleans. So they had people that I put an ad in the paper, said, if your wedding is in the next 6 months and your photographer is no longer here, contact me with your contract. And I said, and I will do your wedding. I said, at a negotiated price, like that. That's how I put it. And they come in and they said, well, I put a $500 deposit down. The wedding was $1,500. I said, okay, so you give me $1,000 and I'll do it.
It in the basket.
so
on
she wouldn't
top.
lose her 500 like we have.
Cost.
Yeah,
So I was doing 3, sometimes 4 weddings a week for about 8 months.
Get in the,
So I was real busy then. So I was able to put money in the bank, get everything started and everything. And when it all fell loose again, I went right back into retail.
well, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, I'm always falling back on the photography side. That's what's got me going right here. Is the photography keeps me going. But I'm like I said, as the Marine Corps comes through, I won't have to worry about the photography anymore. You know,
Yeah,
and it's just, and the last thing I heard a couple of days ago was they asked for additional paperwork on something and they said they're getting that from the doctor, so we're just waiting. But as long as they're asking for paperwork, we're in good shape. Because they're just making sure the documentation's right. And I just my plan is I got team pictures next month, or actually in July. So I'll be doing team pictures in July, and I'll be doing football again this summer. And going back into football for the fall.
well, you've been doing it so long, you've got it in.
Oh yeah.
And everybody
Well,
knows
what-
that you do a good job, that's the thing.
And they're doing
Not like
the
you-
yearbooks.
not like it's not you don't have a rep because you got a good reputation.
Yeah. And the yearbook staff called me the other day. She called me and said, I need your help. So what do you need? Apparently the guy she gave me a list. It was like 5 different sports
no,
it's mostly JV teams.
Missy
She said, I have no pictures because he got expelled from the school and didn't give me the USB with the pictures on it. So I don't have the pictures. He never uploaded them. I said, I got you. So I went through and gave her about 100 pictures that they'll put in the yearbook. And she says, yeah, this is her last year doing yearbook. She goes, so I'm gonna put a whole 1-page ad for you in there.
Could you,
So I have
could
a
you
whole
do that
page.
for me, Joe? Could you send me some pictures for my yearbook?
You need some?
He wants
Yeah.
pictures for his yearbook.
It'll be different colors, different color uniforms.
Actually, ours is coming in on Friday. No,
Your
Yeah,
yearbooks are
no.
coming in Friday?
yeah, we're done. But I've been there, Joe, where my not an expulsion, but the kid's completely lost his disc of the football game, and we didn't get any images. And luckily, we had a professional there taking pictures, and she was kind enough to give us, 3 or 4. So that worked out.
Right. Yeah, you see, I do that for yearbook every year. And they give me a yearbook. So I've got a stack of yearbooks in the back. And most of the pictures in there are mine. It's like, it happens every year that something happens where they need me. And I don't mind. But they're doing a full page ad. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. They're doing a full page ad for me. So I'll get a prime spot in the yearbook with an advertisement. And it's not just seniors, it's everybody that buys these things. So they'll see it, and it's gonna really be a plus for me. I usually do a quarter page for me. I'm doing a full page for you this year. She goes, and they're gonna set it up next year to just keep putting this one in there. So I'm gonna have a regular page in their yearbook as long as I do it. I'll show you. So she said, send me your logo. So since she said, send me your logo, I said, I'll do better than that. I'll make something up to change. Get it. Yeah, I set this up right here. It says AI Press NOLA, Joe Trompeter, caption your skipper's action shots, sports shots, 1 frame at a time, and my email. So that's going to be the page on it. It's say AI Press NOLA, my name, caption your skipper's action, sports shots, 1 frame at a time. AI Press NOLA at gmail.com. So that's gonna be good advertisement.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about putting a board up at the stadium this year. The same thing.
I'm here from Charlene. I don't have access.
So it's gonna be different.
That's one son of school kids.
Oh,
That's his on detention.
hi, Joe.
Hello, Laura. By the way, Justin's got to go back to the dentist today or tomorrow.
How's the pain doing?
Well, he's having a lot of problems with the top right side, and he said he feels back there. And he said there's something that is scratching his cheek, and he can feel it with his tongue. And I told him, I said, it's either a piece of tooth or a piece of bone, unless it's a stitch. I said, I thought you said they didn't stitch the top. He goes, that's what they said. So he contacted the girl he knows that works at the office. And she says, no, you're going to have to come back and we're going to have to look at it. Probably a little sliver of bone or tooth, just what I told him. And she said, yeah, it's easy to come. We'll take it right out, like that. And then the bottom part where the stitches were, one side's healed up pretty good. The other side, the stitches came out of, and he said, I got a big hole back there. And I said, does that hurt? He says, no. I said, well, that one's healing right then. I said, just make sure you keep it cleaned out, So he's mad that he's got to go to the dentist, and it's about 40 miles away.
Oh,
Because he chose that dentist 40 miles away because they weren't going to charge him anything but his insurance.
Find a drink, have a drink.
So he's mad that he's got to go back, and he's got. He had a meeting this morning. He had to go to. He went to, and then he's got tomorrow. They got training, and he's really pissed about going to training tomorrow because it's a new hand-to-hand combat type of training, and then they got to fight each other. So he's got the teeth bother him. Might have to fight, during the thing.
So
That
who
would
do you
be
think's at
interesting.
fault here, guys? This Tesla driver claims his car in full self-drive mode failed to detect a train.
Yeah, that sucks.
I am in control of the vehicle. I don't go around causing mayhem and getting in wrecks and, driving outlandishly. Deep down, it was my fault because I was the one in the car. I was the only one in the car. I was the only car in the accident. But I feel it's more that the damn car didn't recognize the train.
If you want to watch something else on my YouTube, you can.
That sucks.
No. Well, isn't the rules that even in self-drive mode you're supposed to be aware
Alert.
of what
Yeah.
doing? So
Well,
not-
there's been there's a lot of stories out there about people not paying attention to self-driving and having accidents.
Yep.
You have to be able to take control.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, how did he not see the train
Yeah, I got a point.
or hear it? I mean, the car senses it, but it can only sense it when it's there, and the speed of a train is a lot different to the speed of a person. So maybe that's the point.
Well, we got a couple of areas in Metairie, Louisiana, that the trains come through, and the only way you're going to know the train is there is if you see it, because on Metairie Road, they've got the regular bars that come down. But then when you go down about 4 blocks to Carrollton, it's just an intersection. It says railroad crossing. So you better be paying attention when you get there looking for it, because they'll sneak up on you because it's coming around a curve. And I used to live out there for 20-something years. And I have gone up to the track, started to go over it, and the train be like 20 feet from me. And you just back up.
What's,
You know?
what's scary is, Joe, is wait till they start using electric locomotives.
Oh, yeah.
You won't hear anything.
And because you don't even hear these.
Yep.
These big, they're going so slow, you got just a little rumble. And if you got your windows up and a radio going, you're not going to hear it. You got to see it. That happened to my cousin, the one that just lost his wife 60 years ago. He was driving down the cold storage area going to Side Motor Freight to work. And they were supposed to have a signal guy out by the place, and they were backing a boxcar up. And he was in a 57 Chevy. And as he went across the track, the boxcars completely took him out. Drug him 300 yards, and it took 4.5 hours to get him out of the vehicle.
Wow.
That's how bad he was mangled in there. They had pieces of metal sticking into him from different places in the vehicle. And it was so bad they had to just cut the pieces of metal and leave it in him because you can't pull it out.
No.
And get him to the hospital. And he went to Charity Hospital, and they got him out in the middle of the hallway with pieces of metal sticking out about 4 different places. And they're triaging him. And my uncle walked in and went off on the doctors and said, "You don't think this is serious?" He said, "Why is he just sitting here? You haven't given him any pain medicine or anything." So they brought him in. He had like 8 broken bones and everything. So they finally got him in. But I mean, I remember, because I was a kid when it happened. And I remember seeing him, and he looked like he was, for months, he looked like he should have died. And my cousin Carol, the one that just passed, they weren't married yet. It was about 62 years ago. They weren't married yet. And she stopped everything she was doing and went over there and moved in and stayed with him the whole time to make sure he was fine. Did everything for him. Hey, Dre, what's up? Frank? Oh, they got a house they're giving away in Metairie, Louisiana next week. It's $100 ticket to St. Jude Hospital. Usually they sell these tickets out the first 2 weeks. They're down to the last week of this thing, and they still got tickets. So it's telling me there's a problem with money out there. But it's $100 for the ticket, and if you win the house is worth $750,000.
Really?
Yeah, you know what the problem is? In the state of Louisiana, if you win a lottery like that or something like that, your taxes are half that, 50%. So whoever wins it gets a $750,000 house, but they got 300,000 in taxes. Not many people could come up with 300,000 in taxes. Drew Brees with the Saints used to have a foundation. He still does. And when they were giving away something like that, he'd give it if it was going to be $100,000 in taxes. You got the item and 100,000 cash. You give the cash to cover the taxes.
I gotta close the door. I left the door open.
and trying to print an old Leyland bus, double-decker bus for the local bus company.
She's a pretty independent gal, you know?
I printed a Pelican yesterday
Oh,
to go on top of my drone. Little
Won't it
baby
affect-
Pelican.
yeah, won't it affect its flight pattern though?
No. No, because I fly with the duck up there flipping off everybody. But I figured there's a lot of kids out right now and I'm flying around, so I'll put something a little better on it. And then I've got the alligator.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get it in front of it. The little alligator that sits on top. And then last night I printed a different duck. I printed a different duck without the bird, you know. So I've got like 4 different things in my case that I can put on top of it.
So when you print them ducks of the different colours, how does it do it? Does it purge the colour every time? Put a pause in.
Oh no, I'm doing them in white and painting them.
Or you're painting them.
It's all white. Yeah, I'm painting them. Yeah, I've got all those little pins in the back that have the different colors, and it's all it's
Yeah.
oil
How do you,
based.
do you treat them before you
pins.
paint them?
No,
No.
all I do is just paint them. I figured I'm not gonna go crazy with them and put a lot of stuff on them because it always takes one branch to lose it, you know. I get one branch and I clip something and it gets knocked off of it, or it falls over the water. I'm not gonna get it back. But I like the ducks on it. I like the duck. The duck's a good little statement. But I really like the pelican. The little pelican like this.
I put a machine
the
gun up
duck.
there.
Yeah, the duck makes a statement, but the pelican's just different. It's like more Louisiana, you know. But you got to remember it's on there because if you're going between something really close, you got to remember you got to be a little bit lower. The one I wanted, and the one I really want to put on there is Snoopy from Peanuts.
Yeah.
The Red Baron Snoopy, where he looks like he's flying the plane. That's the one I want to put on top of there.
Got better.
And I printed it off. Yeah, I printed it off and it came out nice, but the paint is so hard to do on it. I messed it up I couldn't cover it up the way I wanted it, so I just threw it away.
You know what you need to do?
What? Tell me.
A model of Dick Dastardly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a pigeon. It's on a little piece of wire just ahead of the drone.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
it looks like she's trying to catch it.
Well, I found one I really did like too. It was Donald Duck. And he was laying down with his head looking up, so it could be like he's holding on to it. But the problem is it's the way it's made, it's jointed. So the 4 joints move. I would like to find a way. I'm thinking about taking it and putting it in Tinkercad and seeing if there's any way I could join them together and have it to where it like looks like it's holding on to the drone on the top. I think that'll look cool because it'll be a lot more profile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought about that last night, but I didn't feel like fooling with it. It'd be a closer profile, so I'm only looking at about 1 inch above it instead of 2 inches above it, or 1/2 inch above it. I was gonna do that last night, and it shouldn't be hard to cut. Hey, Don, what's up?
Hi.
To put it in there. Go look at that, play with it while I'm talking. It's gotta be a STL file though. I don't remember if it is.
Any decent films made recently that are worth watching? There's one that I'm really wanting to watch. I never got out to the theater to watch it, which was Godzilla minus, what is it, 0? -1. -1.
Godzilla -1?
Yeah, Cool Cat was asking if there's any decent films that were made recently that were worth watching. I don't watch a lot of movies anymore. I used to.
Okay.
Well, I think that's pretty much the way it is. You know, back when I was a kid, it was big time to go to the movies. Now it's just, they're on TV, they're just everywhere.
Yeah, and it used to be you went to the movie theater, and if you liked it, you might go back, and now it's just like, it looks interesting, but not enough to actually go to the theater. I'll just wait till it comes out on streaming.
Right.
Killers of the Flower Moon looks really good.
Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yep, that was shot over here in Oklahoma. I drove through. I was on my way to a shoot a couple years ago, and they had Pawhuska completely. You would not believe it was a circus. Normally you go through Pawhuska, and I've always loved the town. It's an old town. It was an old oil town that had gone pretty much dead. And I used to love the buildings and stuff. I still do. There's one part of the town that is built on diagonals, and it's just a really interesting town to go through. And then the Pioneer Woman on the Food Network set up shop, put a cafe there, a big restaurant there, and she shoots her show just outside of town at her farmhouse. Well, she's got a farmhouse, and then she's got a studio farmhouse, which isn't really the farmhouse. It's just the studio where they shoot the show. And so the town became popular there. And it kind of ruined the town a little bit for me. But man, the Killers of the Flower Moon, it was crazy busy whenever I drove through there and they were shooting that. That was what's his name?
Who was in that?
I am 2 sips into my coffee. Leonardo DiCaprio was in it.
Okay.
Robert De Niro was in it.
That's a name you never hear much about, is Leonardo DiCaprio. I wonder what happened to him.
You hear about him all the time.
I thought you was going to say Robert De Niro then. I was going to say I've heard too much about that guy.
Every movie that he's made in the last few years has been a hit.
Well, he did the Titanic thing and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Martin Scorsese was the director. But yeah, they blocked that off. They had the town dressed up as a period piece. But anyway, that movie looks like it's really good. It's based on a true story about basically the Indians, when oil was discovered on their land, were instantly rich. And this is about white people coming in and basically trying to get into some of that money, and there were a lot of killings going on to marrying the Indian women and then killing off family and killing off the women to get the money. From what I understand.
Huh. Well, other than cartoons, there isn't what I would call G type movies anymore, is there? They're either got a sci-fi twist to them, or
Yeah. You're talking like pure family friendly,
yeah,
like Apple Dumpling Gang type movies.
yes.
No, but they're really, I mean, I don't know, you had like Spy Kids and stuff like that, and you have, it's usually got a CGI animal in it. I have the Apple Dumpling Gang on DVD somewhere, I think. G rating was for like children. It was
Oh, family friendly. as
full
they call
full
it.
family, all the way down to little kids,
Yeah.
little kids. Cool cat. Then you got PG, which was, I can't remember what PG was. It was just slightly older
Parental
kids. And you had,
guidance.
yeah, you had PG-13, which you had to be over 13 to watch it. Then you had the R, then NC-17. Yeah, general rated. Yeah.
Would probably work.
I'm looking to see what.
Yeah. What do you gotta get?
Cigarettes. We wrote them this morning, but they all got wet. She's shit out of luck. About to quit. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just that, the movie industry has changed since I've been around. It's like there isn't any like Music Man, the movie, singing,
Yep.
dancing, and
Yeah, they haven't done very many musicals recently. I mean, the last one I can think of is probably La La Land, and it was okay.
Wouldn't Lion King the musical be the last one? That was only two or 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Okay, I don't count animated movies and musicals as the same thing. You can have animated movies, and usually, yeah, you can have a lot of music in that. But when I think musical, I think of live action musicals.
Right. They don't seem to do many good comedies anymore either. It's all combat and killing and.
well, that has to do with David. The gaming industry has pretty much taken over a lot of that.
It's not just that; it's got lazy. You look at Netflix movies; they're all the same storyline: boy meets girls, fall in love, split up, have a fight, whatever, get back together, and all comes good in the end. Wouldn't it just be great for one movie? They actually, boy meets girl, they go their separate ways and they meet up 10 years later. They're both married, other people, and hate each other. Just
Well, that's very much like the ending of La La Land.
I've not seen it because I don't like musicals.
Yeah, La La Land. I liked it. It was a musical and it was happy and it followed, and they both got what they wanted, but they didn't get each other, and it was just kind of a. But if you don't like musicals, you probably wouldn't like it.
I used to live on a place called Coffee Street. Right across Coffee Street, there was another house that was a little further back. It had a big archway going into it, and it said La La Land.
I thought you were going to say Teabag Land.
Yep, La La Land.
La La Land. Welcome to La La Land.
So I'm going to print this Donald Duck laying down, and I'm not going to worry about the fact that the arms and the legs are jointed, so it's going to move a little bit. I made it a little wider so that maybe it'll fit perfectly on top of the Avata 2, and the arms will just fall to the side, like it's holding on.
So has anyone seen any decent news today?
No, don't watch the news. That'll really make you depressed. I can't imagine somebody that has suicidal or HDI, any kind of dementia or whatever, would ever want to watch the news today.
Well, it can be funny. I saw where South Korea had floated balloons with, or some people in South Korea had floated balloons over to North Korea with pamphlets and stuff and USB drives with K-pop on it to try and influence and the people there.
Yeah,
So
North Korea responded with trash.
Yeah, they sent balloons back when the winds changed. They sent balloons back filled with garbage. That's kind of funny.
Well, it's funny, but it's in a silly kind of way. It's like, what the hell? Why would another country think that you need to change and open up and be more free, and you send trash back to like, get the hell out of here,
Well, my question is this: if they sent USBs, ain't nobody gonna be able to see what's on them.
Yeah, they don't have any computers. The average person over there.
Oh, cool. Well, that's going to upset Justin.
What's
But it's
that?
going to make me happy. The new Call of Duty game, Black Ops 6, is going straight to Game Pass. It's not going to be. It's not going to be a one you can buy.
So I think you and I are going to be the only ones left that aren't considered ourselves even doing any gaming.
Yep, you got a point.
Well,
the only game that I would fool with is like Madden football. I used to like that.
we can get you into it.
No, you can't.
We can.
No.
Ain't gonna happen. My kids would sit there and they'd be at different houses playing it on the phone right here with me. And I would watching TV on my computer, letting them do what they were doing because I didn't want to be involved with it. Because it just took too much of my time. And then I got one day, he said, I need you to jump on real quick. They had two of them going, and one of them had to leave. So I need you to jump on real quick on Fortnite and just help us out real quick. And then you could stop. We're just gonna do it once and we're gonna quit. And they were fighting some people, and I jumped on with them for a minute. And the what you call it, how it happened, I wound up out in the zone, outside of the zone, and I didn't even know how to get back. I was dying. And they were saying, you're gonna die and get us all killed and all this. come this way, just turn this way and run this way. So I'm running that way. And they wind up winning the game. So I said, okay, we won. They said, yeah. I said, okay. I never have to play again. I've never lost at Fortnite. Like that. So I said, I'll never play it again. I'm
That's
probably
good.
the only person that's never lost at Fortnite.
Walk away and keep 100% record. Here's
what
some
I said.
interesting
I'd
news
never do it
coming
again.
up here in America. I'm into like the solar, like eclipse and stuff like that. The Manhattan Stonehenge is going to be starting tomorrow and going through like, I think, middle of July. It's where the sun lines up with the streets in Manhattan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
people will flood the streets at sunset to get pictures straight down the roadway and show the sunset setting between the skyscrapers. So that's a photographer's
Well, I
Bugging
imagine there's a lot of people.
destination. Yeah.
Yeah, would just like to figure out when's the best time to be there, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because
that's the thing.
How often does that happen?
Twice a year.
Twice
a year.
It's just as the sun as it comes setting, it comes past the streets and then it'll come back towards winter, and so this is that short window of time where the sun is when it comes down and sets straight along the pathway where it lines up with the streets in Manhattan.
Gotta figure something out here.
And there's and it's kind of like the eclipse. It's kind of a neat thing, but if you want to go get a picture of it, you don't have to because there's already a million great pictures of it.
Well,
You're muted, Joe.
With the internet down, there's pretty much anything you can find,
Maybe he meant to be muted. I thought he was still talking to us.
Joe, he's muted.
Oh, he's getting out his penis measuring tool.
I'm measuring out stuff right now.
Did you hear what Donald said? And then you said, I'm measuring it out right now.
No, I didn't hear that.
I said he's getting out his penis measuring tool.
Well, I don't have to measure it. That's only one side.
He's got the marking on it already. He's just making sure it hasn't gotten smaller.
Hey,
all I got to do is say, yeah, that's right.
It reminds me when a kid, they used to have him stand up on the wall and they mark him as he get taller.
Yeah. Hey, Don, all I do is say, yeah, it's right. They got no markings on it at all. It's right. And I'm not measuring this way.
Yeah, crossways, yeah.
I'm trying to, where's the drone? God, don't want to put the drone up. Let me get the drone. I want to make sure that these arms and legs that are going to hang over the side won't hit anything. You know what I mean? I want them hanging into blades.
We can't see what you're doing. All we can see is your background.
Yeah.
It's like you're measuring AI Express NOLA.
It's like he's doing a magic trick. So has anybody else gotten any of the cicadas popping up in their area?
The what?
Cicadas. This was supposed to be like the Armageddon of cicadas. The confluence of both of the 17-year cycle and the other cycle.
The bugs. Yeah. No, I haven't noticed anything.
I haven't either. They said they were going to be everywhere, and I haven't noticed any.
Well, no, the weather up here in the North Country has been just hot, cold, so I don't know if that affects the bugs or not, but I haven't noticed a lot of bugs. What I have noticed is every once in a while I get some ants in the house. So I have to call for the uncles to come and take them back home,
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that the way the joints are, that it will lay down and fold over the hands. So when I have Donald Duck land on the top, it looks like he's holding on.
Okay.
So this is gonna be a test version to see if this works. And either way, if it works, I'm good. If it doesn't work, the baby's got a Donald Duck. Then I know I can measure from there.
Bullcat says the place to go is the old Sarum Cathedral.
Mm. Ugh.
Let this be a lesson to all of you. Check your bloody prints.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I allow bamboo because I was printing this old bus for the local bus company. I allowed bamboo to put all the parts together. It's done all right. The wheels are on the floor where they're supposed to be, and the body seems to be where it should be. But it's a double decker, and I don't think the driver should be sat upstairs.
Here's a news story for you. A moose in Alaska killed a man because he was attempting to take photos of her newborn calves. That's why you have a telephoto lens. Moose aren't anything getting near.
Yeah, he probably didn't. He probably some guy with a pocket camera.
Yep.
Tried to walk up on it. Yeah, people don't understand that when you get out in those elements, you better have the right lens.
Mm-hmm.
Nature will be nature.
And
Yeah,
when I
have
go
you ever-
out and I'm taking pictures of snakes, I don't get close.
It depends on the snake.
Well,
Yeah, you're right. That's if I know it's going to be a poisonous snake, I use the bigger lens.
How you don't know it's poisonous until you eat it.
You're right.
You
Look at
mean
that.
venomous.
Venomous. Look at the head. That's all I worry about. I've been down here long enough to know which one is venomous.
Mm-hmm. We were talking the other day about the hognose snake that flattens out its head to look like it's a viper.
Right.
If it flattens out its head, try and look venomous, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
second line of defense is to play dead.
Yeah, they got the blue runners and the black runners out here. Those suckers are mean.
We get
Those
people
suckers
around
will
here
chase you right now.
upset about they get freaked out because they might have a black snake on their property. It's like, leave it alone. It gets rid of mice. It takes care of all the
Yeah.
stuff you don't want. The bad snakes too.
Well,
Yeah,
that
he's
sounds like a
saying,
good job for you, Donald, to be a snake wrangler and offer to put snakes in people's yards.
Yeah, I'm not sure there'd be much call for that.
Yeah, but you never know.
Did you know? Here's an interesting snake wrangling thing. Remember Wild Kingdom, Mutual of Omaha?
Yeah.
Wild Kingdom. What's his name? Marlon Perkins. When he was, I think he was at the St. Louis Zoo, and they had a snake, and they could not identify it. So he mailed it to a colleague somewhere else to identify the snake. Well, the colleague got it. He opened it up, and he was looking at it, and it bit him. Turned out it was venomous. There was no antidote, and he died 2 days later. But
Wow.
Instead of taking drugs to alleviate the pain, he documented all of his symptoms as he was dying. Talk about a scientist. Just basically wrote notes on how he felt and the effects the entire time.
Dedicated scientist. Crazy man.
So what I guess you could say that if you wanted to, Marlon Perkins once mailed a venomous snake to a colleague and killed him.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I got sick of typing, so.
oh, Michael's in here.
Hello.
I don't see your icon.
Oh, you don't? Well,
let me look here and see.
Oh, hold on.
How are you here?
your audio. You can't see me in the Zoom thing.
No,
I can.
Oh well,
that's weird. I'm only showing.
Am I there, Paul?
It's probably just how I got my view set up here.
That's probably what it is.
Did you see Joe?
Yep, there you go.
Did you see Joe's last video, by the way? I mean, I keep blowing sunshine up his ass, but that's not the idea.
Which one is that?
It's kind of cool.
That's AOC and.
Oh, what's his name? Yeah. Oh, Christ. The crazy one.
Yeah, Charlie Manson. AOC and Charlie Manson with their eyes switched.
Yeah, same eyes. Oh, are they switched? Maybe it's the same. I mean, if it wasn't for the monobrow, you couldn't tell, right?
Hey, Jonathan, how do you mail a snake and you don't know, nobody knows what it is? You mail it and you don't put what it's in, you don't label it.
Well, they knew it was a snake. They just didn't know what kind of snake.
Yeah. Don't label the box. It's like when you send batteries, you don't put batteries on.
And I suppose the answer as to whether or not it was venomous was answered. So,
yeah.
Yes, it was. I don't remember what kind of snake it was. It was a snake from some other part of the world that we didn't have much knowledge of here. So it was kind of rare for them to have it to identify.
You know, there's a really rare fish that you can post, kind of dried out, and you put it in water.
Yeah, and it looks like it's just dried up and just a piece of mud. It looks like it's been dead. It's dead for years, and put water on it, it comes right back.
Yeah, I can't remember what kind of fish that's called. It might be a mudfish, actually, something like that. But they look like kind of beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
They just spring into action.
Cool, Cat. I've just sent you a picture on Zoom chat.
Oh, thanks, dude. I'll
Yeah.
check it out in a second.
I think it'd be great for your background.
All right.
Oh, it's a boom slang snake.
Boom slang, so they're dangerous, eh?
And Carl Schmidt was the guy. Schmidt carelessly allowed the snake to bite him, not believing the venom would be enough to harm him.
Oh, I like that.
Schmidt maintained a scientific diary noting his symptoms over the course of 24 hours in which it took him to die.
Wow.
And the venom of the boom slang is an anticoagulant, causing the person to bleed to death.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Not one.
Okay, I went down my rabbit hole.
That'd be everything inside your body liquefies then.
It just means that the wound created by the snake just keeps on oozing blood until you're gone. That's that picture that David sent me. It's nice, isn't it? Cool cat.
Yes.
Thank you.
I like that.
The
That's
posh
a good
cool
picture. I
part.
like that, yes. David sent that to
I'll
you?
keep it. Yeah, just made it for me.
Yeah, I used
I
AI
found
spray.
it. How many more times have you got to use AI? Because it gives you 20 goes or something, doesn't it?
15 a day. You can
15
go
a
as many
day,
times
okay.
as you want, but after 15, it'll slow down.
Okay.
Well, is there any kind of a membership fee too on top of that
No.
or no?
No, completely free.
It's all free, okay.
Now, which AI is that one?
I use the Bing Microsoft one. That's only for images, though.
I can't
But the
remember
pirate-
which one made that picture I got.
No, but Microsoft are bringing out a 3D file one.
No, that's a good one.
What do you mean?
Is it chicken nuggets?
Oh, piss off.
And I'm up plant.
So, have you guys
chicken nuggets?
seen Joe's latest video? If you haven't seen Joe's latest drone video, give it a look, you know, flying over water.
Now, which one is that one? Is that one finding my way to the Bougainvillea?
No, the last one you did with the cool music.
It's got to be the one finding my way. Well, I've been trying to get to that one area of the river, and every time I find a place to get to it, I lose my signal. So as I pulled around Boston Street, I just pulled over the side of the road. I had to fly it all through the bushes to get to it, and then had to fly to the bushes to get back.
Okay. Joe, do us a favor. Can you just put a comment in the chat so I can follow your account? Not follow it. I already follow it, but what I mean is shortcut.
I can.
to it.
Okay.
You want me to put a link up?
No,
Yeah,
it needs to be from Joe so I can go to his channel.
Oh, see, I got his channel up. I could just copy the link.
No, it's got to be from Joe.
I can't put a link in the chat.
You're talking
You
about
can,
on
but-
your comment?
I just want, comment anything. Just a letter, anything.
He
Doesn't
just wants
matter
you.
what it
He
says.
wants to just. He wants to click that and say go to channel instead of just clicking a link that I could have provided, but that's okay.
How do you do that? How do you provide a link to Joe then? Joe, just press J and return or something. sorry, Donald. I talked over you.
Yeah. Because I did comment on all the comments. But let me see.
No, he wants you to put in this chat.
Yeah,
He wants
I
you
want
to
you
just
to do
put
that.
something in this chat.
Paul, I bet you're
Like that.
feeling very intelligent now about computers, aren't you?
Yep.
You know what I mean, right? Thank you, dude. God, I hate this fucking setup in here.
YouTube has changed its layout or something has gone weird.
Oh, I know.
You better not change it for me again.
Where's my history? Okay, there. Okay.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, finding my way to the Bougainvillea. Bougainvillea. I wish they wouldn't screw around with, the user interface too much, because it does screw you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm
You
not
get
sure
used to
if
one
they've
way.
changed the interface or I've somehow changed the view on my Chrome, and it's adjusting to that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to put that in, Don. Thanks.
That's what it was. Somehow I had expanded my view on Chrome, and so it had to get rid of some stuff. No self
Voice seems
promotion,
to-
Laura.
Okay, Joe, that was the link. I've put it up there now. That was the one that I enjoyed above all else. This one here.
Okay, that was Port Vincent. Yeah.
And really, just because of the smooth flying and everything else, I thought it was kind of cool. I actually thought at the time, I thought Don will probably enjoy this because of the way that it's framed and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not an expert in videography, but it kind of felt nice. Everything was put together kind of nicely.
Yeah, I just actually stopped there on the way back from flying at the state capitol, and I went that way just so I could fly by that bridge.
Okay.
Yep, this is the kind of a FPV flying that I like. I don't like the stunts and the flips and the
Flips and the flops and everything.
I don't either. I got to say,
You like the
I'm not a
cinematic.
fan.
The only thing I did do is when I passed the people on the jet ski, I did the 180 slide to turn around and come back. Because when you do that and you make that little turn by them, all of it gets their attention because it makes a little more noise when it's making the turn, and they'll all turn back and look at it, and then they'll wave at it or something. So you'll get their attention.
I'd put it up, on Zoom, but I think Paul might get into trouble even for that. I'm so nervous about it now.
Well, the music is epidemic sound, so that's going to be good.
Yeah, the music was quite good as well, I thought. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I go through and I try to find stuff that kind of matches the mood I'm in for that scene.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of matched the visuals too, because of that low flying type thing. I don't know, just seemed to fit.
Now, when I came back onto the bridge the second time, I was telling everybody, when I went through it the first time, to the left there's a piece of wire hanging. When I'm coming back through, I forgot about the piece of wire and I went to the right. So I was going right underneath that piece of wire. And when I looked at it, it's actually a piece of rebar.
Oh, shit.
I'm glad I didn't hit it.
That water looks muddy.
That's Louisiana. All those rivers are muddy.
Well, whether it's a branch or whether it's rebar, it will still knock you into the water.
Yeah, it would have caught the drone's attention. Let's put it that way. And what I've noticed with the two is if you bump something, it wants to it picks up that impact no matter how small it is, and what it does is tries to overcompensate for what's happening, and it'll speed up on you.
Oh wow!
It'll just take off, and if you look in the goggles will say, I'm in normal mode. It'll say sport. It'll jump to sport mode until I click on it and start again. And when I take control of it, then it'll go back to normal.
I wrote a message in the chat a little while ago, Joe, about how it frequency hops to overcome penetration and range issues.
Right.
Remember, I mean, I'm not quite because I don't own a camera drone. Nor am I an expert in radio and electromagnetic stuff and whatnot, but. It does some kind of fancy something when it detects that the range is getting when the signal's getting low, and it switches out. It does something with its 2.4 and it's 5.8,
2.4, 5.6, maybe it is, whatever the other one is.
Right,
It'll
something
flip
like
back
that.
and forth trying to grab a longer range.
Yeah, because there's a guy, Andy. His name's Andy. Something, but I sent the link to you because he has a spectrometer or spectrograph, whatever they call it, and it shows what the drone is doing whilst it's hunting around for the best signal. So you may have seen it, you may not have, but
I have to check. I have to look.
Okay,
what gets me is the like when I flew, when I told you I had to go through the bushes and everything, and I was getting close to a little restaurant area. I started losing the signal again. The same place.
Okay.
Now I know I had everything in between them, so I didn't think I was far enough away because I was 200 feet closer than I was last time I lost it. But I started losing the signal. But I said, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. It was starting to break up in the goggles. I said, I'm gonna keep flying. And I went a little further, and I passed the guy on the paddleboard, and I did the little 180, went about another 100 feet. Like I said, did that 180. And when I turned around to come back, he pointed at his son, looked at the drone, and did a Macho Man thing with his arm. So it worked out perfect. And then they got a kid running off the pier, jumping into the water. That even made it even better.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And so I could barely see all of this happening in the goggles, but I know that my telemetry is working. I'm looking at it and I'm still moving. I know that I'm just losing the signal. So I said, well, let's go ahead and just bring it back, and then I'll see what it looks like. It never lost any of the video feed at all. The video feed, perfect. But I was losing the video feed in my goggles. That was the only thing.
So explain to me what it does then. Does it? So I know that
it pixelates.
No. What I mean is, the signal goes to your goggles, right? And then the goggles to the transmitter. Is that right? So the goggles are the transmitter's talking to your goggles, and then the goggles do the transmission and receiving.
Yeah, because the difference between the 1 and the 2, the 1 is the controller talking to the drone, whereas the 2 is the goggles talking to the drone. So and the controller goes to the goggles, and the goggles is getting the feedback to and fro from the drone. So what's happening is the goggles were getting the signal difference, and the goggles weren't getting the video feedback 100%. Right. But the drone was still getting the full feed. So it's just a little bit different. That's why I don't think. And then with that change they just did with the 03 and 04, I don't know if this is really an 04 unit, or if it's like an 03 plus unit, or if they just don't have it perfected yet.
Maybe not.
We'll find out. Because Johnny's having the same issue. He said he doesn't get the same. He gets break up faster with the Avata 2 than the Avata 1.
Yeah, I was listening kind of. I was in town doing something, but I was trying to listen to Johnny's stream this morning. I kind of understood what he was trying to get at.
Yes.
You won't.
Wow. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but it's just different places. I'm actually going to take both of them out and try to fly the same thing and just kind of do a test to see which one loses the signal first.
One or the 2.
Streamlabs, pay for Streamlabs, they said. Thank God I didn't listen.
But there are advantages. There's advantages in both. The 1 is heavier. Just when you're flying it, I don't know how you can do it, but you feel like you can tell it's heavier. Just the way it's banking and everything. And then with the 2, you could feel when it starts to drift. You could see it, and you get the feeling of it drifting.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm nervous about with the 2 is, like I said, if something touches that drone while it's flying, it seems like it gets out of control for the first 4 or 5 seconds. It wants to take off. Because I was underneath the bridge a couple of weeks ago, and a swallow came over the top, and all of a sudden the drone took off. So
that's true for lots of drones, even the FPV drones. If it gets some external feedback, whatever, even if it clips something, what happens is because it's running at a 50 hertz cycle, what happens is you get that little bump in the equation, and it just keeps on. It creates like a bit of a feedback loop. and I suppose that little loop carries on for a couple of hertz, you know. So
right,
the drone is kind of trying to figure out what's happening, and then it gets its shit sorted out after a couple of seconds, maybe. I don't know, but you know, when we're talking, you know, 50 times a second, 50 hertz, that's it's just trying to make, because of course when you bump something, you know, you've then got the inertia has to kind of dampen, you know, and of course it's reacting to all the you know, the PID, they call it the PID, don't they? It's reacting to that that input.
it's a compensation type of thing.
Yeah, and then of course it's reacting to the reaction as well, and all sorts of other things. So hence the loop.
Because I barely I was going through a little play yard thing, like a little gym set, and I barely touched one of the poles on the left side, and that sucker took off in sports mode. Like I said, it went from N to F. It changed, spun around, did a 180, didn't do a 360, did a 180, and started flying backwards on me. And I had to take my hand off everything and kind of hit it twice. And when I hit it the second time, it stopped.
Right.
And went back to normal mode. But if I wouldn't have clicked that button twice, it was going backwards into the trees and the weeds.
So hitting it twice is a
and I had no control, so I clicked it twice.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no control. I had to hit it twice. And that's the one thing that that I don't like about it. And I brought it up 2 or 3 times. I've actually sent it to DJI and they haven't said anything. I don't know. And then the same thing happens when you do the 180 slide over water, and that's the sensors. I know it's the sensors. If you're like 2 feet off the water and you do the 180 slide, until you get control of it again, it's dropping in altitude on you. That sucker will go down to 6, 8 inches off the water. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times. So I make sure that I keep that wrist level, because I'm at 5 feet. It won't let you do it unless you're 5 feet. And then I'll hit that thing, and then I'll make sure my wrist is level when it's going backwards. Because if you just move it a little bit until you get control, you're going back down. And that's not the time you want to hit the water, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm no expert, Jonathan, at all. What I know about drone tuning, you could write on the back of a stamp. In fact, often I say FPV drone tuning is like checking your own feces for fiber, you know. It means you've got too much time on your hands.
Sounds like what it's doing is trying to recalibrate everything that it's reading and what it's doing. You see, and the first one doesn't do that. So it may just be those bottom sensors that are doing everything. Because that's the sensors they got in the back that sit backwards. And they're saying it's not optical avoidance, but I'm telling you, it might be some kind of optical. You know, they're not saying it's an optical avoidance sensor, but it's to keep it level in low light. So it's reading something.
Yeah, there's 2 low quality sensors, IR sensors underneath the quad, right?
Right, there's 4.
4, right? Oh, okay. And I'm pretty sure that's got something to do with that kind of looming thing it does. You know, when it comes back under its own steam, it rocks from side to side, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm reasonably sure that that's got something to do with it.
Those 2 are the vision sensors, the little ones on flat. Then you got those other 2 right there.
Are they angled slightly?
Causing the issue.
Are they kind of got a couple of degrees angle?
Yeah, that's on an angle.
They have.
And that's what I think is the issue. The bottom ones are your vision sensors. The other ones are the same. They look like obstacle avoidance sensors.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, there is a bit of speculation. I got this really lovely touch pen thing. What do you call it? Electronic pen for my iPad. It cost me nothing, like £2 or something. And it's easily as good as the Apple Pen.
Yeah, what's up, John?
Good morning.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, morning, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
You ever played In the Tail on the Donkey?
No.
What?
Okay, have you ever
Yeah.
what do you call them things that they hang in the air and you hit them with a stick when you
Oh,
put
yeah.
on your
Pinata.
and
Pinata.
you ever hit a pinata?
No.
Yeah.
Who said yeah?
That's me.
Donald. Okay. You remember when they blindfolded you, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you had to swing and hit the pinata. When you took the blindfold off, your eyesight and your vision from what you was looking at before you put it on had to recalibrate from what you seeing right then as they take it off, right?
Right.
Okay, it's the same thing with a drone. If you're flying a drone and sending data back and forth, and you clip a branch, you just threw that data off. It has to recalibrate. Once you throw that data off, it has to recalibrate. What them sensors was looking at before it hit that ain't the picture that it's seeing now. So it has to recalibrate, and once it keeps recalibrates, it gets back on track. That's simply what it is, guys. It's just recalibrate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, I'm gone.
What?
Is that
it? Short and sweet. Makes sense.
Did I hear someone?
Yeah. Yeah, Jonathan he dropped in.
Like a hit and run.
No, I don't think so. Job listing for a videographer here in town. They listed it. It's a full-time job. They listed it at $2,000 to $2,500 a month, because they know that if they broke it out by hour, it's like McDonald's wages.
Yeah.
I don't know. McDonald's $12 an hour here.
Yeah, this is like $14 an hour to be a videographer.
Yeah.
I had a very interesting chart in my PDFs on my iPad, actually. I'm going to have a quick look for it. And it was about, I think it was wages in the US, what you should be expecting. Let me have a look. If I can find it, I'll pop it in the chat.
So you remember I told y'all this is National Hamburger Week, right? So all these places have specials on hamburger. Rallies came out with one yesterday. It is a barbecue brisket melt. And it looked, I put like, I know it's not going to look like the picture, because the picture looked like it was 2 inches thick. You know, but like $3, I guess I'm gonna have to have one of those today.
Yeah, you're gonna have to report back on that one as well, Joe.
Yeah, if
let us
it's
know
2
whether
inches
it's
thick,
got
I
ham.
get 2 of them.
Let us know if it's got ham or beef in it.
Beef brisket.
Then it's not a ham, is it?
No.
It's not a hamburger. It's a beef burger.
Yep, it's a chunky beef burger. We'll put that one.
Yeah. I'm sitting here looking. The average pay for a videographer in Missouri is $29.16 an hour. Yeah, I was never close to that at my old job.
I think Dan makes a good point. Well made.
Boobs?
Mm.
It's always a good point.
It has been brought to my attention
Couple good points.
Yeah.
that although I pay for Zoom and it's in my name, Laura would like to use it for 60 seconds. Laura's the boss. I'll be back.
Yeah. You gotta get on and say, shut up, Jeff.
Oh, and Laura, I just now read back that she said she posted the link to Joe's channel and not hers, but that wasn't. It was a link to her channel.
Yeah.
I just clicked it again.
You've been played by Laura.
Yeah. She's doing her best to get those clicks. I ain't gonna watch her crap. She's a liar. She's a stinking liar. Once again, she's lied to me. Once again, she said she's gonna do one thing and did something completely different. Oh, they even got it broke down by Joplin. Let's see here. Oh, no, I wasn't even closely to that.
Every time I look in my books and see the Principia in there, the Latin edition, right? It reminds me just how unqualified I am to have that in my books, because I didn't realize that it was going to be in Latin. So yeah, never mind.
Latino.
It's a little present to myself too.
I may have a meeting come up here in a second. If I get a call, I'm going to hop off.
Well, we're pretty much coming to the end of the show. What do you guys think?
Yeah. When this thing's finished, I'm gonna probably go fly somewhere.
Where are you gonna go? You got any place special you want to go, or?
I have no idea yet. Well, it depends on the weather. It looks like it's okay. I really kind of want to go shoot a train, but I don't feel like driving.
There's some rules against shooting at airplanes and trains, so
yeah,
just be careful.
I want to go do that, but it's 17 miles one way and 40 miles the other way. So yeah,
it's a
we
trip.
got 14% cloud cover. It's going to be pretty good out there.
That's a trip.
And you can just go and fuck off.
And the trains right now, 17 miles away, are going to be passing in about 10 minutes. So I ain't going to get to those. So that won't happen.
You got a train tracker?
Yeah, I do Amtrak, and I look at the different Amtrak trains. I know there's another one about noon that runs around Chef Highway.
Right, Paul.
And
I don't know who
but
Josh
that's 50
was.
miles away.
Just a minute, Joe. Don't know who Josh was, but he came in and said hi. Then he put Paul is so lost, and then commented on you guys put 3 gay men. So
we saw it.
Yeah, I ignored it. I didn't know. I knew it wasn't me, so I figured.
So I just
deleted it.
I kicked him from the channel.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm entirely not a gay man. I might account for maybe a third of one of the gay men here.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I saw gay. I just figured it was, they're talking about David.
Yeah. I'm one of a few on here that have got partners, female partners.
Is that Josh? Is that Justin's
the perfect
new
cover,
channel?
David. I'm just kidding.
David, I've got a wife, and I'll admit to having the random thought. Come on.
Random thought of what?
Yeah, you know, you see
No,
you
I
can,
don't
you see
know.
some of these guys that you see a guy, man, he's a very attractive guy.
I'm going to be honest.
You think-
I see some women. I see some women.
It's
I go,
mighty
I ain't
cute in
going there
those
either.
jeans.
Don, I'm gonna just tell it to you like this. They got all the guys on TV right now, but when Hannah sits on that little bench right there with her legs showing, it gets my attention.
Dan just made a very good point
What?
Was it boobs again?
in the chat. No.
Sorry, it wasn't boobs. Well, I'm not sure I can.
What? In
condone it
being
then,
comic,
so-
being comical.
Every time you've tugged it, every time you tug your own winky, you let a man jerk you off.
It's a good point. He makes a good point.
Makes a very good point.
No. Hey,
Listen, you guys, skin to skin, and everybody gets lonely. So
no.
Winky,
You
yep.
see, this is where I
That's why I have neighbors.
just give me a minute. I'll say what I'm going to say in a minute.
We've all done it. I
There's
mean,
a young
it's just
one
one of
in
those
the
things. You know,
Well, I got female neighbors next door.
Okay. What I was going to say is, he's wrong, because my right hand identifies as a woman. Just the right hand.
David, are you going to be doing a live stream again today? Is that
No, Laura is.
Laura's going live? What?
okay,
time?
David. So only your right hand identifies as a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've never switched off just to, feel a little strange.
No.
Oh, come on, everybody's.
you've not sat on it before and pretended it was someone else's
Okay,
hand?
so you never let your man hand fondle the balls.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry. It's to the left hand. It's out of reach.
I'm so
What you're
gay
saying?
for
You ever
Donald
felt
right
like
now.
cheating?
It's not even funny.
If I was streaming,
Laura's waiting to go live, so I think we're going to shut her off.
Oh, and just so you're aware,
No,
either
I'm
hand could
live
reach him
after
anyway.
you.
Got a big fat belly.
Oh, that made me cry. Sometimes I tell a joke that makes me laugh. I don't expect it.
Paul,
Yeah.
I'll see you this evening.
Okay, we'll see you again this evening, everybody.
you're
Thanks for being
cheating.
here. Joe, go get your train. Don,
Yeah.
go to your meeting. And Cool
Later,
Cat
y'all.
Michael, we'll see you real soon.
Yeah,
Thanks very
don't
much.
forget,
We'll see
Laura's
everyone.
going live very shortly. So
Laura's-
keep an eye out.
Laura's-
yeah, we need
watch
to
for
save the stream while we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I'm,
Thank you for the photograph,
I'm calling
yeah.
it.